All right, here we are, guys. I'm going to show you a quick overview behind the scenes how I created my remix for Deadmau5 for Imaginary Friends. Super fun to return the favor on this, as he did a big remix for me for Longest Road 11 years ago, way back 2008. So let's get into it and look at some of the techniques that I used to make this happen. So first thing you're going to hear is that there's these original stems in there, and they're actually Dolby Atmos stems. So I was super limited at what I could do with these. I didn't have your typical stems to work with. Somehow it created this interesting surround effect on its own. But the main thing I did with this remix was make it so that they were chopped up, and I did all this filter automation to it. So I used a Max 4 Live tool for LFO there. Did a bit of a sawtooth LFO with some different automation, so it was going between triplets and regular 16th notes, 8th notes, and 3/16ths. So that's automating just that filter there, so allowing the highs to pass. Actually, it's a low-pass filter, but super helpful to get that rhythm there with the drop. So if you want to hear just the kick in that filter, so the original stems have synth and strings in them because this was a strings project. So he made these symphonic versions of his original songs that he did with modular synths. So they have a little bit of synth in them, even in that version, in the Where's the Drop album. This is Here's the Drop. So, looking at the session, you can see there's not a ton going on because of the limitations of the stems that were originally in Dolby Atmos. I just used this original stem, sidechain the hell out of it with Shaperbox, because it's got the bass, it's got the chords, it's got leads in there already, and then I added and stacked my own chords, arps, and other effects, plus some vocal samples right on top. Might seem like cheating, but it was really fun. I just found a way to filter it rhythmically, so it created a groove out of the filter, filtering those original stems. So on top of that, there's a bunch of Omnisphere on here. So that's actually a bass sound in Omnisphere. It's got the root note and then a fifth on there. And then there's an arpeggio. Actually, it's more of a lead, and then it becomes an arpeggio. All just there to establish this groove and propel the song forward, keep it moving. It's 128 BPM, classic dance tempo. So later on, that trumpety lead is, I put in these triads, these chord progressions, and they're automated for arpeggios in Ableton. And something I love that other producers do, like Steph DeCampo does this a lot, he does some interesting gating effects. I'm not sure how he does it, but I did it on this by automating the mix. So that's a lot easier than sidechaining it, doing a sidechain or sidechain gate. Just automating that mix, saying, hey, I want you to raise here, pump that reverb for this section so it follows that lead sound, the dry lead. So you can do so much with automation and just automating the mix within Fabfilter. So this is Pro R. This is the Fabfilter Reverb. It's amazing. I use it on everything. It's almost the only reverb I use other than the UAD plates and spring reverbs. So there's some other bits in here that are working to drive dynamic impact. There's reverse swells, things that I manually froze, reversed, flattened, and brought back into the session. And those are all things that are playing off of that filtered rhythmic sound, filtering the original stems. And I wanted to add a human element in here, and actually I said this wrong in my description on the Instagram post about this remix. I said it was my own voice because it sounded like my own voice. I hum on a lot of songs, and I remembered it wrong. It's actually a KSHMR sample. So let's listen to that. So that's cut in there for rhythmic interest, also to drive it along. And there's some of the little grunts and breath work in there as well. And a lot of times I like to add in some noise. That's what this paper track is. I think it's from the Oliver pack, yes. So that's just a little bit of atmospherics, some grit in there. So let's hear what that sounds like. So that's really just serving to make it pump a little bit and act as an open hi-hat. All right, so let's look at some of the other elements. And I love when I have a session like this that's very clean. You know, there's not even that many buses here. I've got my kick bus, my drums, percussion, my lead, my chords, my mid-bass bus, and there's not a lot going on there. Those are more like one-shots and little frozen bits from Nexus. And then the vocal bus that has some of those textured elements, and then some noise effects, some build-ups. So let's take a look at the drums too to show you. There's some cool little loops that I used from Oliver's pack and also KSHMR. So top loops from KSHMR. And I'm doing a lot of parallel compression with the UAD distressor. I love that so much. Just using a little bit, like 20%. So with my loops, usually I'll be sidechaining those. That's kind of a shorter attack on that. So it's not sidechaining, not just doing the usual pump thing, because I want to keep some of the claps in there. And all of these buses, I'm using Shaperbox for the sidechaining. Also a quick sidechain there. So there's enough bass in that main stem, that original stem, so I left it in there. So the part that took the most time was chopping up these elements and then filtering them. And actually, I never usually do this. I brought a bottle of wine down in the studio, had a few glasses of wine, loosened up. Usually I do everything totally sober or just tons of coffee. And with this, I loosened up. I chopped these things up in a totally different style because I was so limited by the stems. And it came out really cool. And the beauty of this plugin, this Max for Live LFO tool, is you can apply it to any filters. You could do it to your reverb length, anything that you think of, you can put in there and assign and modulate it. So it's super powerful. Max for Live's come a long way. It's very stable, and it's really fun. And that's pretty much it. Showing you a quick view behind the session, how I did my remix for Deadmau5, Imaginary Friends. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.